Brother teacher here. My question to you for today is, do you believe that martial artists possess some sort of superhuman power or strength uh, that we may see probably depicted in a lot of martial arts movies back in the day, like in the 70s and the 80s and so forth? You probably have seen people flying through the air in many movies over the years, and some people, believe it or not, they think it's true that you can actually jump 20 feet in the air as a martial artist. And then there are some people who pretty much look at it from a pragmatic standpoint or a practical standpoint, if you will, and say that it's not possible, it can never happen. Well, I just want you to know that a lot of what we saw in the movies back in the 70s and the 80s were martial arts surrounded by theatrics and by stunts and by wires and so forth. But the question is still the same. Are martial artists capable of extraordinary stunts and or tactics and techniques? And the answer is yes. Now, just because you may not see it in the mainstream doesn't necessarily mean that it doesn't exist. Now, throughout my personal martial arts career, I have competed in many martial arts venues and competitions, kung fu, karate, jiu-jitsu, and so forth. And I have broken boards, roof tiles, bricks throughout the years, and then some. But the question is, are there other things that martial artists can do that goes beyond and sufficiently beyond the things that I just mentioned with the boards, the break, and the bricks and so forth? And I want to say yes. I'm sure many of you are aware of or probably have heard of, if you're not a martial artist, Ki, or heard of Chi, or heard of Qigong and so forth, and Iron Fist, or Iron Palm, or Iron Vest, and so forth. I'm jumping around a little bit, but I want you to get where I'm trying to get at, and it's here. Understand this. Human beings are capable of doing a lot of things that appear to be inhuman, but they have the potential to do that. Now, there are some stories of yore, if you will, some old stories where masters were able to walk on snow and not leave footprints. Do you believe that's possible? Do you also believe that a man can jump out of a tree on top of a matchbox, a wooden matchbox, and not break it? Do you also believe that a man can actually scale a wall, a horizontal, vertical wall, if you will, straight up the wall with no tools, just by using his hands and his feet? Do you believe that a man can even disappear in front of another man? Do you believe that a man, or martial artist I'm talking about for the most part, a master, a grandmaster, or whomever, can expel such a bad odor from their mouths, coming up from their gut or their stomach, that they can repel people away? Do you believe that a man can extend his hand in front of another human being at 20 feet away and knock him down, just by willing it to be so? Do you believe? That's the question. How limited are martial artists? Are they only physically limited to the point where they can just kick and punch and throw and grapple, and that's the end of it? Or do they indeed possess more techniques, more skills, more knowledge of some deeper secrets of martial arts, Asiatic or otherwise, that they don't disclose to the general public? Do you believe in pressure points? Do you? Do you believe that you can hit a man in a certain part of his anatomy and he dies several days later or several weeks later? Do you believe that you can administer a certain poison to an individual and cause them to die several days later, several weeks later, or even a year later? These are some of the mysteries that have been clouding the martial arts community for decades. Some people don't want to believe that it's possible. What do you believe? Do you believe that martial artists, or some martial artists, possess extraordinary skills that they don't necessarily expose to the general public? Do you believe that there's great masters that are in seclusion that won't even talk about such things because they don't find any worthy students to teach it to, in fear that they will abuse that knowledge or training? I believe. What do you believe? Let me know. This is Brother Teacher. I'm out.